The screens that are around you and the monitors that are around you have QR codes. The QR codes are going to link you to the program for today's event. Again, in alignment with the Long Beach Green Cities initiatives, we are going green on our program. So please, before we start today's event, make sure you grab the QR code on your phone. Many of you know how to do that from the last 2 years. And go ahead and download the program on that phone, and we will get started here momentarily as everyone takes their seats. Now, the QR code may not work on the screen there. There are monitors behind you, so if you need to grab those, please do so. Or you can raise your hand, and we have individuals with the QR codes on their phone, and they will come and help you. All right, if everyone would take their seats, we will get started in just a few moments. All right, Well, welcome everybody to the 2022 Long Beach Fire Department Meritorious Awards Luncheon. We are excited to have you here as we celebrate the achievements of our firefighters and civilians. Their efforts make a significant difference every day throughout our city, and this is what makes the Long Beach Fire Department the best fire department in the country. Please rise and stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the invocation.
Please place your right hand over your heart, and please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here with you all today. I look out and I see so many faces that I recognize from 30 years as a Long Beach firefighter. But I also see some faces of some younger members that I don't know, especially if you've come on the job in the last 2 years or so. But I look forward to getting to know you all as I continue to serve as one of the fire department's chaplains in the coming years. I would like to commend Fire Chief Espino and his command staff for their dedication to the citizens of the city of Long Beach and to the men and women of the Long Beach Fire Department. The past few years have seen unprecedented changes to how we conduct our daily lives, at home as well as on the job. As a society, we have felt the stress and strain of ever-changing information and requirements. As a public safety entity, the Long Beach Fire Department has met those requirements with professionalism and dedication to service. As individuals, our sworn personnel have upheld their oaths they took through self-sacrifice, heroism, and service of life-threatening calls. I can think of no better time than now for the return of the Meritorious Award ceremony after a 15-year hiatus. And I can think of no more fitting of a start to this ceremony than to give thanks for the ability of us to gather together, to reflect and to remember for great deeds and for recent past years. So if you would please, in your custom, join me as I pray for today's event. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the ability you have provided for us to gather today in celebration. May you bless this event and all those in attendance, as well as for our personnel that are on duty. We thank you for and we pray for your continued protection of the first responders in this city, as well as across the nation. And also, Lord, for their families who are dedicated to love and support them when they return home after each shift. We pray that we continue to be your hands and feet, Lord, in serving our community. May we strive, not just today, but every day, to serve with the meritorious traits that you so graciously have given us and that we then in turn give to others. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. I would like to take this time to recognize and thank retired Fire Captain Dwayne Jackson for those wonderful comments, and also thank Long Beach Search and Rescue Cadet Jack Van Arks for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And also, of course, thank you to Long Beach Fire Department Color Guard and the Long Beach Pipe Band for their support and assistance as well. Well, lunch is served. Good afternoon, and once again, welcome to the Long Beach Fire Department 2022 Annual Meritorious Awards Luncheon. We're so excited to have you joining us today, and I would like to acknowledge and recognize the following distinguished guests that we have in our audience. The Assistant City Manager, Linda Tatum. Linda, thank you. Deputy City Manager, Katie Nomura. Deputy City Manager, Teresa Chandler. Thank you. Chief of Police, Wally Hebish. City Attorney, Charles Parkin. City Prosecutor, Doug Halbert. And City Auditor, Laura Dowd. In addition to that, I would like to also take this opportunity to recognize other distinguished guests in the audience. Today we also have Cynthia Gundry from the Department Head for Long Beach Airport and Acting Director of Development Services, Christopher Kuntz. Welcome as well, and thank you for joining us. Of course, I would be remiss not to recognize the Fire Chief's command staff. Stand and please be recognized. There they are. You can see them floating around there in the different tables. Great. And of course, it goes without saying, the Long Beach Police Department command staff and the representatives from Long Beach Local Firefighters Local 372 Board of Directors that assisted in making this today event possible. So now, today, right now, I would like to bring up our keynote speaker for today, and if you would, I'd like to introduce Fire Chief Javier Espino. Let's give him a round of applause. Chief Espino has recently celebrated his 36th year of service with the fire department, and as part of his ongoing commitment to recognize the contributions that each and every one of you make every day, he was dedicated to bringing back this Meritorious Awards Luncheon, and today we are here together celebrating the men and women of the department. The last time this was done was back in 2007, and what a great opportunity it is for us to celebrate and acknowledge you. Chief Espino?
Good afternoon. About 20 years ago, I could bring that type of energy, but not today. It's just not going to happen. That being said, I want to just take a moment to look around the room and look at all of you and let it sink in. It's been 15 years since I've been to one of these. It's been a long time coming. It's fantastic to be surrounded by so many family members, and you're all part of our family. You're all here in support of us. You've constantly been in support of the fire department, and so I thank you for that. So why? Why do we have this, right? It's a recognition of meritorious deeds, not only within the fire department, but also with civilians, with the police department, with different departments throughout the city. It's the ability to recognize those people that have gone above and beyond anything that we would expect of them. And I got to tell you, the submissions that we had, there are thousands of them that we get, and probably all of them, everybody deserves to come up here and be recognized. Unfortunately, we don't have that amount of time or bandwidth. So we're going to give you the ones that our group chose, and that's what you're going to see up here today. Why is this back in? Well, when I first became chief 4 years ago, that was one of the requests that I received most often. Hey, when can we get the awards back? When can we get the awards back? Because it's good. It's good to get together with family and celebrate. And I was bound and determined to get it done within that first year. And then 2020 rolled around and kind of punched me in the face. And everybody, right, shut down with COVID and civil unrest, Save the Peninsula ×2 over the last couple of years. So things just got in the way. But finally, and I want to thank Chief Grego in particular, I pushed on Robbie hard, and I go, this year, it has to be this year, make it happen. And so the team made this happen, and everybody, is congratulating me on how this looks and everything. This is like doing a barbecue at home. I don't do anything until that last hour, right, when I'm behind the barbecue. My wife did everything else, and it looks spectacular. And so I know this is a team, and you all need to know that this is a team. So if you'll join me, we'll recognize them later, but please join me in a round of applause for them. And with that, I'm going to move out of the way and get to the awards, what you came here for. And so I'll hand it back over to Jake. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, for your comments. Today, I'm honored to introduce you to our next guest and host for today's ceremony. We are excited to have her with us, and Laura Kaplan is a former national TV news anchor and local Emmy Award winner. Laura Kaplan provides communications and video production for Cali, a building products company. In her past broadcast life, she produced and hosted coverage of elections, debates, breaking news with a focus on national and international politics. Another favorite gig included hosting dolphin shows at SeaWorld. You gotta love those animals. In all her roles, Laura aims to find the best way to tell a story and to promote better education and understanding. A Long Beach native, Laura now lives in San Diego with her husband and 2 kids. Laura is honored to return to her beloved hometown and to help celebrate our local heroes, celebrating you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Laura Kaplan.
Thank you, Captain Heflin, Chief Espino, and your entire team. The obvious effort that you have put into this ceremony reflects the real respect and love that you have for your department and community. Honestly, it's hard not to be moved by it today. If, for whatever reason, you're not feeling the love just yet, hang tight. We have some really amazing stories to share with you all. You all do our city very, very proud. So as was just mentioned, I do live in San Diego now, but I have so much pride in my hometown. I feel compelled to note that I'm the only one in my family in San Diego who is not a Padres fan. But there is a real unique sense of strength in community here in Long Beach. And that is essentially what we celebrate today, that commitment to community and service to our fellow citizens. So to say that I am honored to play a part in sharing these stories today is just a huge understatement. Thank you so much for having me. The first half of our awards ceremony is dedicated to recognizing and honoring community members who make a difference. Their efforts and actions make our city safer, more prepared, and more resilient, and have made a significant difference in our fire department. The first presentations are 5 letters of commendation given for contributions made by civilians in support of the department. We welcome our first recipient, Siobhan Ozinga. Siobhan is receiving the Community Partner Award for her ongoing work with Forest Lawn Mortuaries in support of the Long Beach Fire Department. Siobhan has selflessly given countless hours and financial resources. Her in-kind contributions have made a lasting impression during ceremonies, associated with the annual Police Fire Memorial, the September 11th Memorial, and various other events where assistance was provided. The fire department is grateful for her compassionate support and continued efforts as we honor and pay tribute to our own. Thank you, Siobhan. Our next recipient is Dwight Tanaka. Dwight is from the Long Beach Grand Prix and SCT and is receiving the Community Partner Award as well for his ongoing contributions in support of the Long Beach Fire Department. Dwight has devoted many hours and financial resources in support of the department. His in-kind contributions have significantly enhanced Basic Fire Academy recruit graduations, as well as Ready Long Beach. The fire department is grateful for his dedication, insight, and consistent commitment to our community. Dwight is not able to be here with us today, so accepting the award on his behalf is firefighter paramedic Brian Fisk. Our next recipient is Don Budai. Don is receiving the Community Partner Award as well for his contributions and efforts through the Kiwanis in support of the Long Beach Fire Department. His vision, passion, and commitment to community has significantly enhanced the fire department's ability to provide modern and transformative fire safety education for the youth of our city. The Long Beach Fire Department is thankful for his efforts and dedicated service. Thank you, Don. Our next recipient is Sandy Wedgeworth. Sandy is from the Long Beach Health Department, where she oversees public health emergency management. Her ongoing contributions in support of the Long Beach Fire Department have earned her the City Partner Award. Her insightful leadership has significantly enhanced our ability to meet the evolving needs of the community. As the role of public health emergency management has evolved, she has served as a valuable partner in the preservation of life, property, and the environment in our city. The Long Beach Fire Department is grateful for her commitment to excellence and dedicated service. Thank you, Sandy. And our next recipient is Dr. Richard Resurrection. For his ongoing contributions in support of the Long Beach Fire Department, Richard is presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award. He has selflessly dedicated hours of his time to the professional growth and development of our organization. His contributions have significantly enhanced the Basic Fire Academy. He has also provided valuable insight and wisdom as he assisted in the development of future leaders of the organization throughout the promotional process. The Long Beach Fire Department is grateful for his transformative leadership, commitment to excellence, disciplined teaching, and caring mentorship. Thank you for your dedicated service. Join me once again in a round of applause for all the letter of commendation recipients. Thank you all. Our next award is the Fire Captain David Rosa Memorial Scholarship Award. To help present this award, we have Long Beach Fire Captain Mick Hannon, firefighter paramedic Brian Fisk, representing the Long Beach Fire Mutual Benefit Association. We are also honored to have with us here today Long Beach Fire Captain Rosa's parents, Jean and Paul, and his wife, Lindley Rosa, to assist with the presentations. We are honored to present these awards to three amazing individuals for their academic and personal achievement. The first award goes to Sydney Frazier. Receiving the award on her behalf is fire engineer Jim Frazier and his wife Caroline. The second individual receiving the award is Emma Davis. Receiving the award on behalf of Emma is her father, Battalion Chief John Davis. And the third recipient is Tristan Watson, who is unable to be here today. These three young adults exemplify everything the Fire Captain David Rosa Memorial Scholarship is looking to encourage in high school-aged students. These young adults are our future. They have successfully demonstrated the leadership skills, quality of character, and level of ethics that were regularly displayed by Captain David Rosa. These students have shown initiative, heart, community involvement, and are all in good standing at their respective schools. Speaking of being in good standing with their schools, they of course were unable to be here with us today due to their prior commitments to being in school. In recognition of their personal and academic achievements, each is hereby presented with the Long Beach Fire Captain David Rosa Scholarship. Congratulations, we wish them the very best in all their future endeavors. And we would also like to take this opportunity to present Lindley and Jean Rosa with some flowers as we honor Dave's memory. He, of course, will never be forgotten. We sincerely appreciate the Rosa family, Long Beach Firefighters Memorial Association, Long Beach Firefighters Local 372, and the Long Beach Firemen's Mutual Benefit Association for their ongoing support and assistance in ensuring this scholarship fund continues to support Long Beach firefighters and their families. Thank you again, Paul, Jean, Lindley, Fire Captain Hannon, and Firefighter Paramedic Fisk for your assistance here. Our next award category is the Certificate of Community Service. This award recognizes community members who stepped in and made a difference in someone's life. These individuals are truly heroes within our community. The first presentation in this category is a Certificate of Community Service presented to Mr. Richard Montejano. And today, joining him on stage is the survivor of the incident, Ms. Margarita Medina. Please direct your attention to the screens for a look at the heroic actions that unfolded that day. On September 8th of 2021, Long Beach community member Margarita Medina drove to a local gas station and slammed her vehicle into a propane tank filling station. The tank exploded into a fire and she found herself trapped. The flames prevented Margarita from exiting the driver's side door, and the passenger door was stuck shut. A witness to the explosion, Richard Montejano, and other bystanders jumped into action. Richard attempted to access the vehicle, but the incredible heat kept him from reaching her door. There was also a concern that the propane tank and/or the vehicle itself would explode. As the would-be rescuer looked for other options, precious seconds ticked by. For over 2 minutes, Margarita tried to free herself, to no luck. The fire continued to grow in intensity as the heat and deadly smoke entered the vehicle and began to overcome her. Then, with the help of another individual, a metal object was found which Richard used to break the rear window. Quickly, he reached in and was able to release the lock and open the door. He and the other rescuers were then able to pull her out of the vehicle and move her to safety. Margarita was coughing as she gathered herself and looked at her car. The passenger space where she had been sitting was consumed with smoke as the fire continued to intensify. When Long Beach Fire Department members arrived on scene, the fire was extinguished. Medical care was rendered to Margarita, and fortunately, her injuries were minimal. However, it was very clear to everyone involved that if not for the quick and heroic actions of Richard Montejano, her situation would have turned deadly. The Long Beach Fire Department applauds his heroic and life-saving actions because that day, Richard, you made a difference. The next Certificate of Community Service is presented to multiple individuals for their actions at the Long Beach Airport. They say it takes a village, and in this case, that is especially true. We welcome heroes Shayla Jackson, Hunter Collins, and Monique Champagne to the stage. We also have survivor Alton Korotan here with us as well as we honor these individuals. On the morning of March 16th Earlier this year at 7:05 a.m., Fire Engine 19, Crash 1, and Rescue 18 were dispatched to the Long Beach airport in response to an incident concerning a cardiac and respiratory arrest. A man in his 60s had lost consciousness and fallen to the ground, resulting in a head injury. In the terminal, Southwest Airlines employee Monique Champagne and 2 passengers awaiting their flight, Shayla Jackson and Hunter Collins, rushed to help and found him in full arrest. Monique quickly responded by grabbing the AED equipment in the terminal. The AED was applied and 2 shocks were given. Shayla and Hunter began CPR and assisted with resuscitative measures as they coached each other through the process. Upon the arrival of Crash 1 and Engine 19, the patient was found breathing on his own. By the time Rescue 18 transported him to Long Beach Memorial Hospital, he had stable vital signs and was alert and able to speak with paramedics. The fire department is grateful for the heroic and life-saving actions from community members like Monique, Shayla, and Hunter. Without a doubt, their actions that morning saved a life, and we have Mr. Coratan standing here with us today as proof that CPR saves lives. Join me in a round of applause for these amazing individuals. The next presentations are very special, as we now recognize and honor the 2021 Fire Department Employees of the Year. Before we do that, I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize those of you in the audience today, either active or retired, who have earned the title of Employee of the Year in the past. Please stand now and be recognized. It is exciting to see you here now, as we now welcome 2 new employees to this noteworthy group of individuals who have put incredible time and energy into the fire department. This is a significant honor and something to be very proud of. Thank you again. So we will start with our non-sworn employees. Every year, the Long Beach Fire Department sets out to recognize individuals who do exemplary work in their roles and take extra steps to serve above and beyond what is expected. These individuals are nominated by their peers, a selection process occurs, and then one is identified as Employee of the Year. As you might guess, it is a very difficult decision process for the simple fact that we are among many amazing people doing many amazing things. We would therefore like to recognize those individuals who were nominated for the 2021 Non-Sworn Employee of the Year for the Long Beach Fire Department. If I read your name, please stand so that we can recognize you. Jasmine Macias, Vincent Olea, Steve Santos, and Kylie Yaki. Congratulations on your nomination. Thank you for the amazing work that you do in support of the fire department. And now we will recognize the individual selected by her peers as the 2021 Employee of the Year among non-sworn staff. Ms. Angela Samayoa. Angela is an outstanding employee. She has an awesome attitude and a strong work ethic. She's become a very valuable resource for the Long Beach Certified Unified Program Agency, or CUPA for short. Amongst her peers, Angie is considered to be a subject matter expert and has earned the nickname the CUPA Guru. The CUPA section, with all of its laws and regulations, can be very difficult to understand, and she not only understands all the laws, but is able to explain them to others with ease. Since 2011, Angie has facilitated training at the CUPA Annual Training Conference. At this year's conference, out of a few hundred people from the 83 statewide CUPAs and 24 other participating agencies, she was selected by her peers and government regulators to receive the Outstanding CUPA Individual Award. Angela's great working relationship with the various state auditors has turned the Long Beach CUPA program into a shining example of how a certified unified program agency should be managed. Congratulations, Angie, on your amazing accomplishments and for being selected as the 2021 Non-Sworn Employee of the Year for the Long Beach Fire Department. And now let's move on to recognize the 2021 Sworn Employee of the Year. First, we would also like to recognize the individuals who are nominated by the Long Beach Fire Department. And again, if I read your name, please stand so that we can recognize you. Our sworn employee nominees for 2021 are Captain Jack Crabtree, Captain Dennis Garrett, Captain Timothy Isaacson, and Engineer Al Suarez. Congratulations on your nomination, and thank you for the amazing work you do in support of the fire department. And now we recognize the individual selected by his peers as the 2021 Sworn Employee of the Year, firefighter paramedic Marvin Chang. Firefighter paramedic Marvin Chang continues to accurately exhibit the core values of the Long Beach Fire Department. He always performs his duties with enthusiasm and completes all tasks with exceptional and unparalleled professionalism. Firefighter paramedic Chang is always willing to go above the call of duty, showing up each day with a positive attitude no matter how difficult or challenging the circumstances. He is highly respected by his crew members and peers and is a highly sought-out subject matter expert in many areas of the department. As part of the teaching cadre and the primary EMT instructor for 2 fire recruit academies and 2 ambulance operator academies, firefighter paramedic Chang has had a major impact on the newest members of the department. He completed the CSTI Hazmat instructor curriculum, and as a state-certified instructor is now part of a cadre of hazmat instructors who teach hazmat technician and specialist classes to new students throughout California. Firefighter paramedic Chang has been an invaluable lead subject matter expert on all things telestaff. He was part of the team that vetted the new version of the program and had to run countless iterations to test its capabilities. He then assisted with the telestaff update training for the entire department. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, implementation measures slowed down progress, and firefighter paramedic Chang was one of the individuals chosen to oversee telestaff during this critical period. Unsurprisingly, he once again stepped up to the challenge and became an integral member of the IMT telestaff team, where he swiftly created several spreadsheets to account for personnel staffing, as well as assisting payroll to ensure members would be accurately compensated. Because of his commitment to the fire department and his ability to maintain continuity and accountability, firefighter paramedic Marvin Chang is selected as the 2021 Long Beach Fire Department Sworn Employee of the Year. Congratulations again to all the nominees and to Marvin and Angela for their amazing contributions and accomplishments in support of the Long Beach Fire Department. Their names will be added to the Long Beach Fire Department Employee of the Year plaque at Fire Headquarters, and they will be recognized at a future City Council meeting for their contributions to our city and department. Now I'd like to bring back Chief Espino for our next section of awards. Absolutely. There you are.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. Unfortunately, since our last Meritorious Awards ceremony, there have been several significant events that have happened to our fire department. In reflecting, I felt it was important that we take the time to remember the amazing individuals we've lost since we last did this awards ceremony. As we process those difficult times, it's important to remember that it's okay to still grieve and miss them. They will forever be in our hearts and part of who we are. With that, I'd like to take the time to reflect. I want to take a moment as we remember these amazing individuals and the contributions they've made to our department and to the city. They will never be forgotten, and they will always and forever be with us. Please join me in this moment of silence. Honoring the life of Fire Captain Hank Zavaleta, 2011. Honoring the life of Fire Engineer Darren Rocket, 2011. Honoring the life of Fire Engineer Ryan Thornton, 2015. Honoring the life of Fire Captain David Rosa, 2018. Honoring the life of firefighter Chris Parker, 2019. Honoring the life of firefighter Gavin Escobar, 2022. Thank you for taking the time with me to honor them and remember those great individuals and the contributions they made in our lives. As you can see before me, we have set a table of honor in their memory so that they may join us in this celebration. As we honor the lives of the humans that have left us, let us not forget the life of another that made a significant contribution to our department. Rex, our first Long Beach Fire Department search dog. Please join me as we watch a special tribute that we made for Rex as a celebration of his life and accomplishments.
Rex's last search is the culmination of a great adventure that we've had together. We've been so fortunate to be provided this opportunity by the National Search Dog Foundation, Orange County Task Force 5, and Long Beach Fire to provide valuable resource to the region in this amazing search canine. The program really evolved prior to me. I was not the first choice for the handler. It just happened to be by circumstance that it ended up falling to me in a manner where they said, okay, you ready? In 2 weeks, we're getting a dog. All right, I got to call my wife first because this is a huge commitment to take on. Luckily, she said yes. We started going to training with Task Force 5, and our first FEMA certification in Nevada in the hot, blazing sun. That butterflies I felt as a first-time handler, knowing that this is going to be difficult, and to see him finding all 6 victims. We found his first victim in less than a minute, and when that started to happen, that was the moment that my confidence as a handler kicked in, and to nail that first test was amazing to watch. It kind of set the tone for our whole career. We had a long spell where Rex certified, and we were hoping to go out the door and do what he was meant to do, and we didn't get deployed. There was many years where we went without a deployment, and then all of a sudden it came fast and furious in the last couple of years, and he was able to go to Montecito as a search canine resource. We went to Houston to actually help those folks ensure that nobody was left behind. There are the other moments that nobody will know about where my daughter sits and reads to him, and his family interaction with my family and with our family dogs. And those small touching moments also are indelible in my memory. Well, the program is alive and well. We have Rex's replacement. Search Dog Dallas is the heir apparent. He is certified from FEMA, and he is already in service. For Rex, he's not going to know. He is such a high drive guy. His mind is still in it. He is still going to come to training. He's still going to be involved. It just, now we can pet it. Now he can have some toys. He can have a little bit of downtime and let Search Dog Dallas take over and do his thing. It has been amazing to watch the growth of this dog that was rescued and repurposed to become what he has become, and he's been a fantastic search dog and an amazing partner. It's definitely bittersweet to come to the culmination of a great career. I will never be able to express my complete thanks and appreciation for all the folks that have played a part in Rex's life. The Gilroy Training Facility, Sundowners, Kennels, the Search Dog Foundation has played a crazy part. They have been amazing in their support. My training partners in California Task Force 5, you couldn't do it by yourself. And when we had low times and we were struggling, they were there to pick us up and put us back, dust us off, and get us going again. I'm so thankful for those people. and Long Beach Fire Department in bringing this resource to fruition, because they could have very well passed. The support that I've been given to train and have this dog mission ready, I could not have done it without so many players, and I'm so appreciative.
Laura, hand the mic back over to you.
Thank you, Chief. Now let's turn to some of the amazing things that the men and women of this fire department have done in support of our community. We have 6 letters of commendation for sworn personnel being awarded today. The first letter of commendation goes to Los Angeles County Fire Captain Scott Ross. Fire Captain Scott Ross is being presented this letter of commendation for his role in the critical incident stress debriefing and peer support after the tragic loss of Captain Dave Rosa. Captain Ross's award states, in the early morning hours of June 25, 2018, Captain David Rosa was fatally shot while responding to a report of an explosion in a senior citizen apartment building. Captain, colleague, teacher, and leader are just some of the words that defined Dave, but to members of the Long Beach Fire Department, he was family. The pain and anguish of losing one of their own in a manner that no firefighter is prepared for was sudden and devastating. The department was experiencing emotional trauma that could have dire effects on individuals and the entire organization. There was a need for help processing grief and guidance to understand and embark on the healing process. Captain Scott Ross is the peer support coordinator for the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Having been a peer support mentor for 20 years, he would tell you that being a good source of support when people need it is just being there, answering the call. Captain Ross answered the call that fateful morning. Hearing details of the event relayed to him in a 5 a.m. phone conversation, he simply replied, "I'll be there." Over the next few weeks, Captain Ross led a team of peer supporters that included members from LA County Fire, LA City Fire, and other local organizations such as chaplains, doctors, comfort dog handlers, and behavior health specialists. His team worked tirelessly over a 2-week period to help department members through the grieving and healing process. Realizing that members were mentally and emotionally wounded, Captain Ross coordinated critical incident stress debriefing meetings for every department member who sought assistance. These sessions were open to all fire employees, including headquarters personnel, training center personnel, fire dispatch personnel, as well as St. Mary's Medical Emergency Department staff and countless others. The Long Beach Fire Department owes Los Angeles County Fire Captain Scott Ross a great deal of gratitude and wishes to honor him with this letter of commendation. Thank you, Captain Ross. Our next letter of commendation goes to Los Angeles County Fire Battalion Chief Will Pryor and Los Angeles County Fire Battalion Chief Tom Ray. In the event of a line-of-duty death or serious injury to a firefighter, fire departments must take immediate actions to ensure that the incident is investigated and accurately documented in order to garner lessons that might prevent future injuries. This thorough review process is conducted to protect the interests of involved parties, including the deceased, the surviving family, and the department and its personnel. Following the line-of-duty death of Fire Captain David Rosa and the shooting of firefighter Ernesto Torres, the fire chief activated a Serious Incident Review Team, or CIRT. This team, led by Los Angeles County Fire Department Battalion Chiefs Will Pryor and Tom Ray, as well as several members of the Long Beach Fire Department, were readily available to assist with the fire department's investigation. Through peer support, dedicated assistance, expertise, and guidance from both battalion chiefs Pryor and Ray, the Serious Incident Review Team was able to accurately investigate and document the tragic events that took place on June 25th of 2018. Because of their commitment and dedication, the Long Beach Fire Department would like to honor them both with this letter of commendation. Thank you, Chief Ray and Chief Pryor. Chief Ray was unable to attend today, but we will present him with his award at a later date. Christmas carols will soon be heard again, echoing through our city during the month of December, and our next letter of commendation goes to the lead elf, who personally sees to it that Long Beach families are taken care of during the holiday season. Our next recipient is firefighter Will Nash. Firefighter Will Nash has played an integral role in the Long Beach community, especially in the lives of kids who would otherwise go without gifts for Christmas. Firefighter Nash has been involved with the Long Beach Fire Department's Spark of Love toy drive for over 15 years. He began volunteering his time before he was hired as a Long Beach firefighter and has been the lead for the toy drive for many years now. The Long Beach Fire Department, and we assume Santa as well, recognize firefighter Will Nash and his selfless acts of kindness with this letter of commendation. Thank you. Now, when most of us think of a firefighter, they probably imagine them along with a big red fire engine. But that would not be the case without the efforts of countless individuals who make those fire engines and trucks a reality. We now welcome to the stage the Engine and Truck Build Committee that keeps the department rolling. The following individuals are being recognized for their commitment and dedication to the Support Services Bureau Fleet Division. Battalion Chief Anthony De Silva, Captain Scott Hart, Captain Jake Atwood, Captain Ed Smith, Engineer John Breeden, Engineer Josh Humphrey, Engineer Seward Kim, Engineer Casey Koyman, Engineer Paul Mears, Engineer Rolf Ward, and Engineer Steve Yamamoto. For the past 10 to 20 years, these employees have been involved with the research, design, specification, development, inspection processes, and training implementation for all fire apparatus assigned to the Long Beach Fire Department. Through the years, they have committed countless hours working on and developing the custom designs necessary to fit operational needs. Many of them did this while continuing to work their normal 24-hour shifts at the fire stations. They have traveled across multiple states to assist with the build-out process and the corresponding inspections of various fire apparatus. Some of these projects include advanced life support and basic life support ambulances, battalion chief vehicles, hazmat response units, mobile command vehicles, airport crash response apparatus, fire engines, and our ladder trucks. With that, we present them with this letter of commendation. Although not all of the committee team members could make it today, we would like to extend a special thank you as we recognize all of their contributions. Honor and tradition. Two words that reflect the essence of the Long Beach Fire Department. Our next letter of commendation will be presented to an individual who takes this seriously and makes sure that when it counts, it looks perfect. The Long Beach Fire Department would like to express their sincere gratitude to Engineer Jimmy Smith for his actions following the death of Fire Captain David Rosa. Engineer Smith's leadership of the Long Beach Fire Department Honor Guard was critical in the support of Captain Rosa, his family, and the department. Engineer Smith immediately recognized the need for department personnel to always stand watch over Captain Rosa, to show proper respect for a fallen brother, and effectively delegated the responsibility of establishing a rotating watch, which stayed with Captain Rosa from the time of the incident without interruption until his interment. Working without rest, Engineer Smith coordinated with the department, external agencies, and their honor guards, the funeral home and venue staff, to ensure that Captain Rosa's memorial services were appropriate and conveyed the honor and respect due to him. Engineer Smith took command of the Long Beach Fire Department Honor Guard, effectively identified the need for additional staffing, and provided uniforms and training to personnel on an extremely short timeline. The Honor Guard practice sessions spanned multiple venues, countless hours, and required significant logistical and operational support. The Long Beach Fire Department recognizes Engineer Jimmy Smith's leadership and dedication with this letter of commendation. Since 1997, the Long Beach firefighters have shown up at Miller Children's and Women's Hospital with a little something special for the kids and teenagers dealing with challenging medical conditions. This next individual has made it a personal mission to support these kids and bring joy, even if only for a moment, to an otherwise challenging and often frightening experience. The next letter of commendation is presented to longtime LBFD Kids Program Coordinator, Battalion Chief Greg Curiel. Through a series of annual events such as the Beach Festival, Halloween trick-or-treating, and a Christmas visit from Santa Claus, the LBFD Kids program brings joy and smiles to an experience that for most patients can be filled with uncertainty, fear, and difficulty. As part of Friends of Long Beach Firefighters, LBFD Kids raised and donated $40,000 towards a siblings playroom at Miller Children's Hospital, where a replica of Fire Engine 2 was built for kids to play with. Since 2004, Battalion Chief Greg Curiel has volunteered and handled all the planning and logistics associated with LBFD Kids. And for that, the Long Beach Fire Department recognizes his efforts with this letter of commendation. Congratulations. This next award is being presented by the Long Beach Police Department. And to help with that, I would like to welcome up Police Chief Wally Hebish to the stage.
Thank you, Laura. If you notice, Chief Espino has a huge smile on his face, and that's because he's a little bit worried about me having a microphone in front of his whole department. So we love you guys, and I am honored to be here today. I'll get right to the presentation, but first I want to say to the fire chief, to his command staff, they know how much we rely on them, but to the rank and file of the department, of the fire department, on behalf of the entire Long Beach Police Department, thank you for what you do for our officers out in the field every day. It's not lost on us how important it is to have you as partners, so thank you very much. I'd like to recognize Engineer Daniel Torres with the Long Beach Police Department's Distinguished Service Award for his quick actions on an emergency incident. His actions helped protect our police officers while they addressed a rapidly evolving dynamic situation. On May 23, 2017, officers were dispatched to the 2400 block of South Street regarding a subject who was attempting to commit suicide inside of a business. As officers arrived, they saw fire department personnel on scene and numerous employees fleeing the main office. Several people yelled that a fellow employee was stabbing himself with a knife attempting to kill himself. The first officers arrived and began devising a plan to contain the distraught man. Because the subject was armed with a knife, they utilized less lethal options to disarm him, and time was of the essence as the suicidal subject required immediate medical care. Fire engineer Daniel Torres, at risk to his own personal safety, blocked the rear exit with a pole containing the suicidal subject inside. Officers carefully entered the location and approached the man. He was covered in blood, holding a large knife and bleeding profusely. They called out to him and attempted to calm him down, but he continued stabbing himself. The scene was horrific and there was blood everywhere. The suspect retreated into the office and out of sight. Officers and firefighters worked together to assemble an emergency action team to address this rapidly evolving situation. Communication between them was critical in implementing their plan to safely take the man into custody. Assisting officers were able to use their taser, causing the suicidal man to drop his knife. They immediately approached him, and they were able to safely arrest the individual and get medical treatment for him. Fire personnel rushed him to the hospital. We later learned the man, a military veteran, had suffered a psychological episode. He was expected to make a full recovery, and the man's wife reached out with her deepest appreciation to the police officers and firefighters that saved her husband's life. Engineer Daniel Torres is commended for his willingness to risk his safety to help secure the armed man inside the building. Congratulations, Engineer Torres, for this outstanding award.
Thank you, Chief Hebish. This brings us to the portion of our ceremony where we recognize different fire companies throughout the city for unit citations. A unit citation is presented to a single company or multiple companies which have distinguished themselves as in an exemplary manner for the outstanding performance of their duties. For our first unit citation, we recognize all individuals assigned to the Montecito mudslide incident. Joining us on stage to receive this award on behalf of all units and individuals assigned to the incident are members of the crew that played an instrumental role in the event. To save some time, we're not going to read the names of everybody assigned, but at this time we do invite you to stand and be recognized if you are here today and were involved. On January 9th, 2018, in anticipation of an overnight storm and potential mud flows, 15 members of the Long Beach Flood Rescue Task Force 12 were pre-deployed to the city of Montecito near the burn-scarred area from the Thomas Fire in the Santa Ynez Mountains. At approximately 3 a.m. on January 10th, the Santa Barbara County hillsides had given way under the short-lived but torrential downpour. The residents of the cities of Montecito, Carpinteria, Summerlin, and Santa Barbara were awakened by horrifying sounds of house-sized boulders traveling at nearly 20 miles per hour, carried by the strength of a rushing 15-foot-high mud wall. The night sky glowed orange, lit up from the blazing fires fueled by a ruptured gas main. At daybreak, the destruction became apparent. Over 100 homes were completely ravaged. Many were reduced to splintered 2x4s or leveled entirely. Other homes that remained intact were filled with several feet of mud and debris. A total of 23 people died, and over 150 were hospitalized. An additional 18 members of the department's Regional Urban Search and Rescue Task Force stepped up to lead the rescue effort, successfully saving over 25 citizens trapped by the disaster. Coordinating with area fire, police, and sheriff departments and the California National Guard, heroic members from both task forces worked tirelessly for 8 days straight in unfamiliar surroundings in extremely hazardous environments, all while performing selfless actions, at times risking their own lives by entering waist-deep mud to rescue others. At about 5:30 a.m., one of the many victims found amongst the multiple 20-foot piles of mud and debris was 14-year-old Lauren Canton. The members of Squad 1, which included Captain Lloyd Molker, Engineer Andy Chan, Engineer Sander Fries, firefighter-paramedic Will Lauren, firefighter Victor Carnawal, and firefighter Jason Scott, jumped into action to dig out, disentangle, treat, comfort, and ultimately save the teenager without any major injuries. Due to a broken 8-inch natural gas main blowing adjacent to Lauren, the rescue was initiated without the use of power tools and took over an hour to complete. Through this and other airborne search and rescue missions, the task forces demonstrated courageous efforts in an ever-changing large-scale disaster. Their noteworthy accomplishments, perseverance, and devotion to duty is reflected in their ability to function as a team and perform in an exemplary manner to accomplish the mission. It is with great pride and in keeping with the highest traditions of the Long Beach Fire Department and the entire fire service that we present these individuals with a unit citation for their actions that day. Thank you and congratulations. For our second unit citation, we recognize all individuals assigned to the incident involving an elderly choking patient. Joining us on stage to receive this award are members of the crew that played an instrumental role during the course of the incident. At 6:09 p.m. on January 14th, earlier this year, the crews of Engine 9 and Rescue 9 responded to reports of a woman in full arrest at Phil Tranny's restaurant. Both units quickly responded and arrived on scene within 4 minutes and 14 seconds of the initial dispatch. Crews rushed inside to find an elderly woman lying on the ground with restaurant patrons performing CPR. Firefighters Christopher Bryant and Andrew Espedia began to assess the patient as firefighter-paramedic Jeffrey Arnold gathered information from bystanders. Without hesitation, and working off his 20 years of service, firefighter-paramedic Doug Carey recognized that the patient was choking, reached for his airway bag and opened her airway with his laryngoscope. He found a large piece of food completely blocking her airway, and using the McGill forceps, he quickly removed the blockage. The firefighters then began to supply the patient with air with a bag valve mask. Because of the efforts of these firefighters, the patient soon regained consciousness and began talking. She was transported to Long Beach Memorial as a precaution and it was expected to fully recover. The crew showed its outstanding efforts and professionalism. Their immediate actions and compassion for the patient's welfare was nothing shy of heroic. Congratulations and thank you for your amazing work. For our third unit citation, we recognize all individuals assigned to the incident involving the multiple alarm fire on Artesia Boulevard. Joining us on stage to receive this award on behalf of all the units and individuals assigned to this incident are members of the crew that played an instrumental role in the event. Again, to save time, we will not read all of the names of those assigned, but we do ask that you stand and be recognized if you are here today and were involved. At approximately 1:30 p.m. on May 13th of this year, Long Beach Fire Department resources responded to a reported apartment fire at 2890 East Artesia Boulevard. Initial units arrived on scene of a large multi-story apartment building with one first-floor living unit in flames. Engine 12 was the first unit to arrive, where they verbalized an initial report on conditions, began stretching a hose line for fire attack, and launched a potential victim search. They immediately requested a second alarm. Unfortunately, the weather conditions contributed to the rapid spread of what had become a wind-driven fire. The steady wind pushed flames throughout the large two-story building, hampering firefighters' efforts. Battalion 3 arrived on scene and took over the position of incident commander as Artesia IC. The IC continued to direct incoming units and requested a third alarm. Additional units responded to the incident, fulfilling roles inside the building, conducting fire attack, and conducting searches to ensure there were no trapped victims. Several additional companies were assigned to the ventilation group, assisting with vertical ventilation, while other units were assigned to support functions. The Long Beach Fire Department Fire Investigation Unit also began investigating the fire's cause. Thanks to the teamwork, dedication, and resiliency of the crews, this greater alarm fire was brought under control, preventing the loss of life and saving a greater portion of the building. The Long Beach Fire Department is proud to present all units involved in this incident with a unit citation for their steadfast actions and professionalism displayed that day. Thank you. For our fourth unit citation, we recognize all individuals assigned to the incident involving the multiple alarm fire on 1st Street. Joining us on stage to receive the award on behalf of all units and individuals assigned are members of the crew that played an instrumental role during the course of the incident. Again, we won't be mentioning the names of all those involved, but if you were involved and you're here, please stand so that we can recognize your work. At approximately 6:45 p.m. on January 21st of this year, Long Beach Fire Department resources responded to a reported house fire at 2732 East 1st Street. The initial units arrived to find heavy fire and smoke coming from the roof of a large 3-story house. Engine 2 arrived first, gave an initial report, and began to organize the incident. Engine 10 and Engine 4 arrived moments later, and all 3 companies began to deploy hose lines for the firefight. Truck 1 arrived on scene and was assigned to go to the roof to conduct vertical ventilation. With no immediate victims, Rescue 1 was attached to the truck company. Units were unaware that the 3-story arts and crafts style home was historic, being the first home built in Bluff Park in 1905. These homes pose unique technical challenges to firefighters, prompting the request for a second alarm. Battalion 2 arrived on scene, assumed 1st Street incident commander, and began to assign incoming units tactical objectives. The fire attack units assigned to the 3rd floor faced heavy fire conditions, including high heat and low visibility. The fire had spread to other portions of the house, requiring additional engine companies to position their hose lines in a way as to protect adjacent homes. Once the ventilation group began to open up the roof, Conditions inside the house improved, and interior crews were able to locate the seat of the fire and knock it down. Additional units responded to the incident and fulfilled roles inside the building, including assisting with the fire attack and conducting searches to ensure that there were no trapped victims. Due in large part to the time period the house was built, crews were faced with an extensive overhaul operation. They ensured there was no hidden fire while simultaneously trying to preserve and protect the home's historic craftsmanship. The Long Beach Fire Department Investigation Unit also began to investigate the cause of the fire. The demonstrated teamwork, dedication, and professionalism were paramount in bringing this greater alarm fire under control while preserving a large portion of the historic home. The Long Beach Fire Department is proud to present all units involved in this incident with a unit citation for their steadfast actions and professionalism displayed that day. Congratulations, and thank you to everyone involved. And for our 5th unit citation, we recognize the individuals assigned to the incident involving a roof collapse that led to the rescue of a trapped victim. Joining us now to receive this award is the crew from Engine 4. At approximately 5 p.m. on Sunday, November 29th of 2020, Engine 4 was called to respond to reports of a traffic accident at the intersection of Redondo and 10th Street. When they arrived on scene, they found a sheared hydrant on the southeast corner of the intersection. Water was shooting 30 feet into the air, landing in the street and on the roof of a nearby commercial structure. Firefighter Alec Garcia and firefighter Manuel de Maria began searching for the foot valve to shut off the hydrant and stop the water flow. Engineer Joseph Webb began to divert traffic and then proceeded to locate the occupants of the involved vehicle. Captain Steve Seaburn requested immediate response by the water department from fire dispatch, but was told they had a delayed response time. Captain Seaburn began to inspect the commercial structure for occupants and potential water damage. He found 2 businesses in the involved building, an insurance office that was unoccupied, and a small cafe with 2 employees inside, but no customers and no signs of water damage. Engine 4 requested dispatch to contact the water department again and expedite their response due to the potential damage to the business. Captain Seaburn began walking back toward the front of the building to reassess conditions. While on his way, he heard a loud crash with sounds of breaking glass. Within minutes of E4's arrival, the weight of the water had caused the roof of the cafe to collapse. All 4 members of Engine 4 were accounted for. However, the 2 cafe employees were missing. Knowing they were most likely trapped inside and possibly under debris, Captain Seaburn immediately requested a first alarm assignment with USAR 6 and asked firefighter Garcia and engineer Webb to go check the backside, or the Charlie side, to attempt to locate the 2 missing employees. With the water still flowing and compromised structural integrity, the crew from Engine 4 selflessly made their way into the building to attempt a rescue. After locating one of the employees trapped under the debris, the crew began digging him out. Heavy lumber and kitchen appliances were removed to gain access, and engineer Webb lifted a piano off the trapped victim, finally freeing him. The man was carried out to the street to be assessed and treated by fire personnel. The second employee was located a few minutes later outside the structure. She had been able to make her way out immediately after the roof collapsed with no injuries. The crew responded rapidly, adapting to the needs of the incident as it evolved, and their heroic and selfless actions that day saved the life of the trapped victim. The Long Beach Fire Department is proud to present the members of Engine 4 with a unit citation for their steadfast valor and professionalism displayed that day. Thank you. For our 6th unit citation, we recognize all individuals assigned to the incident involving a multiple alarm fire occurring on the upper floor of a high-rise building here in downtown Long Beach. Joining us on stage to receive the award on behalf of all units and individuals assigned to the incident are members of the crew who played an instrumental role in the event. We ask that if you are here in the audience today and you were assigned to the incident, please stand so that you can also be recognized. At about 11:30 p.m. on April 13th, earlier this year, Long Beach Fire Department units responded to reports of a high-rise fire located at 714 Pacific Avenue, also known as the Pacific Towers. As Engine 3 responded from the north on Pacific Avenue, Captain Brian Wade immediately recognized the significance of the incident, seeing for himself heavy fire coming from an apartment on the 14th floor. Captain Wade immediately requested a second and third alarm response. The Pacific Towers, a 17-story high-rise, was fully occupied at the time of the fire, and its occupants are primarily seniors. As the initial arriving units made their way to the fire floor, several occupants were exiting from the emergency stairwells, which made the climb to the fire floor extremely challenging. As the initial 2 engine companies and 1 truck company prepared for an aggressive fire attack and primary search on the 14th floor, an additional 2 engine companies and a truck company continued aloft to search the remaining 3 floors above to ensure occupants had exited the building or were safely sheltered in place. Tasked with coordinating evacuation, 2 engine companies were assigned to the stairwell and rescued 2 occupants who were unable to make their way down the stairs to safety, one of whom was in a wheelchair. Once the initial fire attack team made their way through zero visibility conditions to the involved apartment, they were met with heavy fire conditions that had consumed the entire unit. By utilizing effective communication, sound firefighting techniques, and seamless teamwork, the fire was contained to the unit of origin. While fire operations were taking place on the 14th floor, it was soon realized that approximately 70 to 80 displaced occupants were gathered in the courtyard below. Incident Command coordinated efforts with additional engine companies and paramedic rescue units to not only medically clear all displaced occupants, but to also rehouse all but 3 within a 45-minute time frame. Providing additional incident support, the Long Beach Search and Rescue Unit responded to assist with traffic control and rehabilitation for firefighters operating at the incident. The Long Beach Public Safety dispatchers were instrumental in supporting the communication needs of the incident and assisted in coordinating mutual aid from neighboring agencies to ensure continuity of emergency operations for the rest of the city. Although this was a major incident by any standard, through the valiant efforts of all involved, no lives were lost, no firefighters sustained injury, and major damage was limited to just 1 apartment unit, allowing most occupants to return safely to their homes. The Long Beach Fire Department is proud to present all units involved with a unit citation for their steadfast actions and professionalism displayed that day. Thank you, and congratulations. The next part of our ceremony is the presentation of Meritorious Awards. Meritorious Awards are unique in that they recognize the actions of an individual. These individuals showed acts of skill and courage extending far beyond the normal call of duty or service performed at great risk to his or her own safety in an effort to save human life or property. For our first Meritorious Award, please help me welcome to the stage Engineer Ernesto Torres for his exemplary efforts at the Grace Apartment fire. On February 19, 2018, Long Beach Fire Department units responded to a reported structure fire at the Grace Hotel, located at 1090 Obispo Avenue. The first arriving company officer reported a 2-story large center hallway with heavy smoke showing from 2 sides of the building. Eventually, 75 residents were displaced, and the building was declared uninhabitable. At 11:03 p.m., Engine 4 assumed 10th Street IC, secured a water supply, and called for a second alarm assignment. As the incident progressed, the room of origin was eventually found on the 1st floor. Upon Engine 10's arrival, firefighter Ernesto Torres began stretching a hose line for fire attack. As firefighting operations were being set up, firefighter Torres noticed an adult elderly couple beyond the involved unit yelling for help. The residents were trapped by thick black smoke and flames billowing from the involved unit. While coordinating with incoming resources, without a hose line and with no time to spare, firefighter Torres proceeded down the hallway past the involved unit on fire. He grabbed hold of the couple, shielding them from the smoke and flames with his body, and brought them through to safety. After ensuring that they were unharmed and safe, the hose line was charged with water, and firefighter Torres continued his efforts attacking the fire. Engine 10 firefighters were met with high heat and flames outside the involved unit and eventually knocked down the main body of the fire. The selfless and heroic actions of firefighter Torres are noteworthy, and he is hereby commended. His actions and his devotion to duty are a credit to himself and to the crew of Engine 10 B Shift. These heroic actions reflect the highest traditions of the Long Beach Fire Department and of the fire service. The department is proud to present Engineer Ernesto Torres with this meritorious award. Thank you. Our second meritorious award goes to Battalion Chief John Davis for his exemplary efforts at the Stony Brook apartment fire. At 4:56 p.m. on November 3rd, 2021, Long Beach Fire Department units were dispatched to the Stony Brook apartments at 448 North Bellflower Boulevard. By 5:15, the incident had become a third alarm fire. There was one civilian injured, a female resident who attempted to escape from the fire floor by jumping onto a grassy area below. 3 firefighters were also transported for heat exhaustion and dehydration. Engine 14 was the first arriving unit to the incident. Upon their arrival, Engine 14's captain, John Davis, reported heavy fire and smoke showing on the 3rd floor of a 4-story residential building with flames extending to the 4th floor balcony above. After transmitting his size-up over the radio, Captain Davis directed his crew to pull an attack line to the 3rd floor, while the engineer off of Engine 14 obtained a water supply from a nearby hydrant. After giving direction, Captain Davis noticed an adult male yelling for help after being trapped by thick smoke on the 3rd floor in an adjacent unit. While coordinating with incoming resources and passing command to the 2nd unit on scene, Captain Davis grabbed a 24-foot extension ladder and proceeded through the 1st floor parking area by himself. He ascended the ladder to the frantic man and rescued him while the apartment unit began to fill with smoke. The door to the involved unit was left open, which allowed fire to travel horizontally 45 feet down the interior hallway. After rescuing the man, Captain Davis quickly rejoined his crew as they initiated fire attack operations. They aggressively fought the fire back into the involved unit, eventually extinguishing a significant portion of it. After eventually reporting knockdown of the main fire, Captain Davis was taken out of the action and transported to an area hospital where he received treatment for smoke inhalation and dehydration. The selfless and heroic actions of Captain Davis are noteworthy, and he is hereby commended. His actions and his devotion to duty are a credit to himself and the crew of Engine 14. This heroism reflects the highest traditions of the Long Beach Fire Department and of the fire service. The department is proud to present Battalion Chief John Davis with the Meritorious Award. Thank you. I would now like to turn the microphone back over to Chief Espino for our final presentation of the day.
Thank you. This next award is a Purple Heart award. And so at 3:44 a.m. on Sunday, June 25th, 2018, Long Beach Fire Department Engine 10 responded to a fire alarm at a high-rise apartment building located at 600 East 4th Street near downtown Long Beach. While en route, the call was upgraded to an explosion response. Upon arrival, fire department units found the apartment unit with damage sustained from an explosion and an extinguished fire. While assessing the damaged unit, firefighter Ernesto Torres heard what he believed to be another explosion. To investigate the source of the sound, firefighter Torres ran towards the stairwell where he had last seen Captain David Rosa. When firefighter Torres arrived at the stairwell, he noticed an elderly man seated in a chair near a blown-out window at the end of the hallway. As firefighter Torres stood at the threshold of the stairwell, the resident began firing shots in the direction of firefighter Torres, wounding him. At 4:08 a.m., additional firefighters came to the stairwell to investigate the popping sounds they heard. They were met by firefighter Torres, who stated, "There's a shooter, I'm shot." as radio traffic announced shots were fired and gave direction to evacuate the building, firefighter Torres and the other firefighters evacuated the building as instructed. While hurrying down the second-floor hallway, one of the firefighters observed the shooter holding a weapon against his chest. That firefighter immediately stopped, turned around, and ran back towards incoming crews, yelling, "He's got a gun, he's shooting," thereby alerting other firefighters in the vicinity to evacuate and take cover. In the minutes that followed the shootings, both Captain Rosa and firefighter Torres were transported to St. Mary Medical Center, where Fire Captain David Rosa tragically succumbed to his injuries. Fortunately, firefighter Torres was treated for his injuries and released. Therefore, for merit and for injuries received in the performance of duties as a firefighter, the Long Beach Fire Department formally presents Engineer Ernesto Torres with the Purple Heart. Well, that's our final presentation for the day, but before we close, we'd like to thank Laura Kaplan for her generosity and incredible contribution of time and effort to support the Long Beach Fire Department. In closing, I'd also like to thank the 2022 Meritorious Awards Coordination Team and the Awards Selection Committee. A special thank you to Engineer Joseph Webb, Firefighter Madison Carter, Melanie Miller, Maria Delgado, Jalissa Gutierrez, all of the admin support staff, my executive assistant, Allison Anderson, the Convention Center staff, LBFD Video and AV Unit, including Sue Feller, Lizo Estepona and our friends from Long Beach TV, the Long Beach Fire Museum, the Long Beach Pipe and Band, the Long Beach Fire Department Color Guard, and the rest of the volunteer staff, interns, and fire ambassadors. To everyone here today, thank you for attending and showing your commitment to the Long Beach Fire Department. As we roll into the holidays, I wish you all good health and happiness and a safe 2022. Here comes 2023. Thank you. See you again here next year. Thank you.
Well, that will wrap it up. That will wrap it up for us today. And what we want to leave you with is this thought: go out and do the amazing things that you continue to do. Take care of each other. Keep each other safe. Stay well, and God bless. The centerpiece is on there. We want to encourage you that if you have a birthday that's close to today, that's your centerpiece for you to take home with you and also celebrate the upcoming holiday seasons. Again, thank you very much for participating in the 2022 Annual Fire Meritorious Awards Luncheon. Drive safe, and God bless.